if you're tuning in today, it probably has something to do with your four-wheel drive. Like this beauty of a little switch here that used to be inside my dash. So what happened was I was driving and I was going down the road and we're going over 20 and the rear diff was trying to lock. So it kept saying slow down below 20 to lock. I was like, what the heck? I'm not trying to do that. And I was trying to push in the button, which I'll explain how this goes together in a moment. But I was trying to press this in and it wouldn't turn it off. It would, like, for a second I started noticing, you know what, if I press in and hold this, it turns it off. And that's not good, obviously. So then I was like, you know what, to get this out, you have to take this whole dash apart. And this connects down below here, and there's screws, and it's kind of a mess. If you want to see how that is taken apart, when we actually upgraded the MySync 2 to the MySync 3, that is the perfect video because we had to take apart all this. You got to take all this off to get this out. So everything here is gone. That'd be a good video for that. So needless to say, I didn't really want to do that. And these pull out. These are just, if you press these, they pull out. So I thought, hey, maybe this does. Well, that would be a negative. It does not pull out at all. In fact, the way this goes in here is you've got these little press clips. So it presses in this way, right? You see how there's got those little ridges? So if I put this in here, it would lock in place this way. So you can install it this way, but you can't take it out this way. From the back, you got to be able to squeeze these. And so I tried to do it with this, and it broke. But this is an opportunity. So if you see here, there's some screws here on the back, here and here. If you wanted to take this face apart, you could do it that way. Oh yeah, and then I've got this whole check four-wheel drive thing right here that is on. Now, if I put these two pieces together, like if I squeeze this and this together, like, how's that go? Like this right here. And I drive around with those squeezed together and I'm holding it. Whoops, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was turned sideways all the time. If I drive around holding this, the four-wheel drive stays off. But it's a little difficult to drive around like that. And obviously there's a problem anyway, but temporarily to get where I need to go, I'm like, I need some tape or something. So there's a FedEx right in there. I'm gonna go see if I can get some packing tape and tape this up so until I find a new part, I can drive. And then I got to figure out, there's that wrench. So even when I hold it together and that sign is off, right, the little warning thing, that wrench stays on. I don't know how to reset that. All right, let me see if I can go get some tape. Success, they have packing tape, which is really cool. I need to send a package anyway, so, you know, might as well buy some packing tape. So I'm going to try to wrap this up and then we'll test it and see if we get a temporary fix. So we don't have to go hopping around corners and we can drive. Now, it's weird because this defaulted into two-wheel drive. So that's cool. I could drive around that way. But it also defaulted with the rear axle lock. It's like two different guys were working on this. One guy in the front with the four-wheel drive was like, you know, I want to program this because if this goes out, we're probably going to want to just go to two-wheel drive. And then the dude that was doing the rear diff was like, man, if this goes out, we'll probably want it to go to rear lock. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but whatever. We'll figure it out. Come on, Ford. Let's get this taped up and back on the road. All right, check it out. I've got this beauty all taped up like a, I don't know what, like a piece of junk, but it's taped up and I've cut the hole out the back so we can put that plug in there. And then we're gonna see when we turn it on if this actually works. Okay, moment of truth. Fire this baby up and see if I can drive around without chirping tires everywhere. Okay, steering wheel. All right. Come on. Come on, Ford. Don't be the crapter. Yes. Yes. It two-wheel drive. And is even the wrench gone? Well, what do you know about that? Look at that. It's gone. It thinks everything's fine. That was the easiest fix in the world. I just had to find a FedEx and some packing tape. So, you know what that confirms? It's absolutely 100% the switch, right? That's great. That cleared everything up. Now, obviously, I can't drive around, or I'm not going to drive around like that, like some sort of hillbilly. Redneck's one thing. Hillbilly, you know, you got to draw a line somewhere. So I'm going to call Ford and see if they have that part. But at least we're back on the road. Now, I called Ford, the local Ford store, and it sounds like they have one of these switches in stock. It's not exactly cheap. It's like $80, but to get back driving and not have to have the old taperoo going down there, I think it's worth it because I don't know how long that's going to hold. So they had one. It's really cool. Actually, there's a guy in this local store. His name's Jarrett. He is really good. That's in Mike White Ford. So let's give those guys a shout out. I'm in there all the time for parts for this Raptor, and they only had one of these, but it is the part. Let's open this baby up and get it plugged in. Huh? Oops, there you go. Oh, look at that. That's the one. And look, it's all in, see, that's what I'm talking about. These screws right here and right here are what I completely broke off. But obviously one of those is already broken because it was very loose and this wasn't being pressed down and engaged, because when I put the tape on here and squished all this together, it worked. So it was already broke. Fortunately, it didn't break like on some really big trip or something. So let's get it changed and see if we have success. Okay, so all we got to do is plug this guy in here. See if I can do this one-handed. I think it goes that way. Come on. Oh, piece of cake. In. Now, obviously, this just goes up. And you can see there's little slots here for where that screw in that line up. So that's not too bad. And this should... Oh, done. Done. Okay, that's a big deal. So, I have a tip for you. If you are just taking this switch out for some reason and you're not changing it or you want to keep it, then you got to go through the steps of pulling all this off and getting to the back side of that to open it. However, and we got that video, as I said, we'll link to the end if you want to see how all that goes apart. However, if this is not something you're going to keep, just break it and save yourself a whole bunch of work by taking that apart. I mean, like I said, just breaking that top off allows you to get to those tabs and pull it out. So let's turn it on now and see if it works. I think it's gonna. Let's try it. So first step is just powering it on, and 4x2. Okay, and nothing. Let's start it. All right, 4x2. Okay, that's off. Now let's try some stuff. Let's just pull on the rear diff. Okay, that locked. Let's see if we turn it off. Off. Okay, great. Let's turn on the 4 high. Shift in progress. 4 high. Yes. Now we'll go 4 low if I'm out of neutral. No, I got to shift to neutral. Well, that's fine. We might as well test all of it. Neutral shift. 4 low. Yep. Advanced track disabled. Yep, we're okay with that. Now let's see if we can also engage the rear diff here. Yes, yes, success. Let's shift it out. Yep, yes, that is awesome. Success. Now, one thing I also did, I don't know if you have trouble with your 4-wheel drive engaging, disengaging. Like, we've got some videos we had to change out the 4-wheel drive hub actuators. That was a problem on this. The lines that go with this that we had that were loose, and I'm still having a problem. It engages great now, but it does not disengage. It takes forever, and sometimes one side will disengage before the other side. So again, Jarrett over there at the Ford dealership talked to me about this little guy right here as a potential problem. It's just a valve in the line or a splitter, and it can leak. So if that's if that's the case, that would be so great, because I'm like, what is going on with this 4-wheel drive? Ford, why'd you put a vacuum line Ford over here? I mean, that's like ancient technology. Why didn't you do electric? I don't know, but this was like this part, I think I told you, was like 80 bucks. This part was like $8. That's like the cheapest thing I've ever bought for this. So we're going to try that in a different video, and we'll keep you posted. Have an awesome rest of the day. Check out some other videos. It's Uncle Jacob Motors and Mischief signing off with a fist bump of friendship. Whoop-ow! Let's go do some off-road. One quick tip I'm inserting in this one is on these Fords, at least this 09 to 14 range. This is a Raptor, so that was 2010 to 14, but the same interior on those. I have had a whole bunch of problems with the switches. For example, the window wouldn't come up and down, and I had to change out this whole switch here. It was causing problems with that back lock. The rear slider wouldn't work, and it ended up being this switch right here. So on these trucks, if you're getting some weird electrical problems and it has to do with a switch at least being in part of that circuit, change the switch out. I'm telling you. Now here's another one, right? Here's another one with the four-wheel drive actuator that is the switch. So a little disappointing on the switch side, Ford, but it's what it is. And if you know how to fix it, it's not that bad. Okay,